including The Year of Yellow Butterflies, which is out on Hanging Loose Press, and Pageant, which is out on Alice James Books. She is finishing up her tenure as the poetry editor of Ping Pong and teaches poetry writing at Rutgers University through Teachers and Writers Collaborative, Poets House, and in private workshops. Please welcome Joanna Fuhrman.
Hi, thanks for coming out. And thanks to both of you for beautiful readings. I think I'll start with an older poem from Pageant. This is a prose poem. It's called The Joke. The last joke in the world finds itself in the womb of a pregnant Jamie Lynn Spears. Knock, knock, it bangs against the uterus walls. No one answers. The video feed from the Second World War is projected on the outside of a wiggling fallopian tube. Bodies wire burning ash. Terrible silence rules. Before it was a fetus, the joke had wanted to be a poem. It used to watch the lyrics line up between the toy boats in the still lake. It envied their decorum, the way the sails billowed when the children blew. I'll read a little bit from Butterflies. Trigger guard. Everyone I ever loved is standing on a platform with a gun. In the cartoon version, a flag pops with the word bang. In the soap opera version, my face turns the color of Merlot. In the haiku version, metal gleams in the narrow shadow. In the Republican version, two guns wrap themselves in a single flag. In the Langpo version, idolatry yip yaps paradigm the. In my diary version, I wonder why everyone hates me. In the indie film version, a gun flickers over a mumbled tune. In the Chekhov version, well, you already know. In the 10 o'clock news version, the crisis in violence is rising. In the action film version, a shot means profits are rolling. In the catalog version, the smoke's hue is a burnished moss. In the teen movie version, a nerdy gun removes her glasses. In the lucid dream version, I kiss a muzzle and it blossoms. In the music video version, a gun turns into a mouth. Jaw dance. We cover monuments in billowing grease, skin-to-skin context and pink brigades. You wear a helmet, I wear 2 frog antennae and a name. Don't mean it. Try to be all loosey-goosey mama bear until the bones come back to roost. And then, who am I in this borrowed century of love? A moon landing staged in a bathtub? A loose tooth and a white bucket? We seesaw time machines and skin waves, pixelate, kick the juice out of twisted necks and zombie eye makeup, blotching out the sky. You want to feel me where? You want to slide that brain and be it? The war on kindness has been going on since how? I don't need to make myself a man to be a meaning. You don't need a license to drive a planet, so why should I need one to steer a mid-sized tuber of fire? Even my pet donkey gets an occasional weekend to go hog wild. We all need a little flailing sprinkled on that down-home waddle. There are a million countries in that bucket we call home. None of them naked, all of them naked, blazing with spit-filled ruffled fins. So I'm going to read from the title poem, which is a 20-section prose poem. But I won't read the whole thing, and I'll just read in pieces. I'll skip around. It starts with a couple of quotes. The first one is Frank Bedard, "Terrible to dress in the clothes of a period that must end." And the other one is John Ashbery. "You must remember that certain things die out for a while, so they can be remembered with affection later on." And I'm going to start in the middle. It was the year young women wore blue jeans with carefully ripped holes revealing leggings, and in the knees of the leggings, little rips, glimpses of neon paisley tights. In the paisley tights there were holes, and through these holes we could see little patches of perfect skin-colored knee makeup. In the knee makeup, there would always be a gap where the real skin would peek out. And in that gap would be another hole, and in it a surgically implanted transparent window revealing veins, and under the veins there would be muscles, predictable bones. Inside those bones we could see little tubes, and inside those tubes there was the beginning or the end of language. I didn't know which, but I knew it was a kind of happiness, like a crooked line is happy, or like a million crooked lines are even happier. I thought of it as a great yellow swooping, maybe the music of glaciers melting, or mislaid planets slowly readjusting their orbits. It was the year everyone kept forgetting their babies on the conveyor belt. You'd pay the stork for it, then leave it right there, not noticing that it was wailing for breast milk or the past. So many people forgot their babies that year, they needed to open a baby libraries across the country. You could check out other people's if you lost track of your own. I never bought a baby or even wanted to borrow one, but I like to go to the baby library at my lunch break. Under the mounds of congealing drool, I could finally remember my own lost babyhood. How blurry it was. How loud. Skipping ahead. It was the year everyone decorated the outside of their houses to look like the inside, and the inside to look like the outside. You like to wear a jumpsuit with an X-ray of a skeleton silk screened on it. I like to wear an earring shaped like a decaying liver. Once I crashed into a friend's wall because I thought it was the sky. We placed our teacups on tree trunk ottoman and rested our heads on waterfall pillows. You were wearing an ocean on your mouth, and I was dressed like the sun. It was the year those photographs appeared everywhere. Big-toothed Americans smiling next to naked, hooded, bound, dark men. We'd see the images printed on t-shirts, embossed on popcorn cartons, and caught in the silver cinematic underskin of our eyelids. We thought that the image would cause a rearrangement of our dormant atoms, that the lion sleeping in our waterbed would wake and burn a rapturous path out of its oceanic nap. Instead, the powder on our nacho chips stayed the same blunt orange. The ballet dancers remained perched, spinning forever on their lovely, bloody toes. It was the year no one could tell the difference between a poem and a resume. A resume and a poem. I was awarded a job as a poet in residence at an insurgent branding firm. I wrote odes to the CEO on my cell phone and emailed guzzles to the VP. I loved the job because it included a free lunch with a salad bar and unlimited kale-flavored hummus. In each poem I wrote for the job, there was another secret poem embedded in the first, invisible unless one touched it. I was willing to let anybody touch it. All I wanted in exchange was a goddamn kiss. It was the year all the young men wanted to be ghosts. The football bleachers were a sea of undulating white mountains, the strip club audience a twitching ivory mass. To be a ghost was to sulk around unseen, to be free, the way poetry is free because no one reads it. When the department stores ran out of sheets, men started wearing white plastic garbage bags or deconstructed futon covers. I couldn't tell the difference between a father and a son. I started to miss men's faces. I could no longer remember what a beard looked like or how one felt against my cheek. It was the year our disappointment was shaped like a lake and we all swam in it, and your hair was the color of a fish's movement, and my eyes floated in my forehead so they were perpendicular, and the world tilted as we tilted, and the sky was full of a pale blue language we called home. And we named our songbird Money, and we sang, "Here, Money, here." And like any other songbird, she looked right at us and fled. I'll just read a couple more and then maybe a newer poem. It was the year everyone had dreams about nuclear holocausts. In Laura's dream, the sun turned the color of pomegranates. In Max's, he hid under a couch with his pet hamster, Sam. Clara stood alone on the roof. Ken ate a cupcake shaped like a mushroom cloud, while his friends joked about the end of the world. From what I remember of my dream, the streets were covered in sneaker tongues, angular wounds, burnt moss. I cried on the sidewalk with blue sirens. What I remember might not have been my actual dream. It might be a memory of a promo for a TV movie, the one they advertised during breaks of the primetime soaps my mother said I wasn't old enough to watch. It was the year we liked to wear opaque sunglasses so we could walk together in clarifying darkness and hear the clicking of light switches and feel the shag rug on our blistered feet and smell the nitrogen circumnavigating the distracted air. We were finally able to understand the difference between here and when, finally able to touch the sinuous gap between the meaning of now and the feel of it. So I'll just end with a new poem. I'm kind of changing my mind about what I want to read, being back in the heart of university land. I lived in co-ops, but there were always like frat houses across the street, which we would watch with marvel and confusion. But now I teach frat boys. I teach them surrealism, and they really like it. I say, bro, this is cool. So I wrote them a poem. I mean, whatever. It's called Bro Realism. They say inside each bro is a different, identical bro. And inside that bro is the chicken that laid the egg that started the world. But dude, where's your magnetic pocket knife, your heliotropic brain extensions made for the afterlife, you know, your poetry? When will you let your mouth become the gap between the pizza crust and the cheese? When will the earth become a ping pong ball-sized pupil bopping past the forest of liquid gold yolk-filled solo cups and into the firmament? You may be a bro, but that doesn't mean your soul can't leak glitter all over the baseball diamond. You may be a guy, but that doesn't mean your liver doesn't wear a pink feather beret, that your it isn't draped in metallic negligee. If inside each suburb is an identical suburb where mansions hide teeming cities within, then when will your living room explode into grimy, kaleidoscopic subways, into cracked beakers full of the ashes of interplanetary love affairs? In bro realism, none of us know shit, and that is the shit. Even if the moonlight is made of cell phone flashlights, even if the closet full of broken telescopic top hats is covered by a rack of faded beer-level caps, even if your vocabulary is shrinking into atomic subparticles, please put down your TV-shaped bong. Try opening that hole in your ear. Thank you.